Welcome back to the garage. Today, we're going to replace something that has really bothered me for a while now. Oh, that's bad. A few months back, I started to try to pull this steering wheel the creative way, I suppose. I didn't have a steering wheel puller at the time. Spoiler alert. So I devised a few creative methods to attempt to pull this thing off. I tried to engineer some sort of pulling tool using the hub puller from all the brake work I've been trying to get done here and there. That was many fails. I used just a regular 2-jaw puller. I really needed a 3-jaw puller, but it still wouldn't quite fit this guy. As everyone's favorite Scottish engineer from Star Trek says, the right tool for the right job. And I've been trying to use the wrong tool for the wrong job. So I now have the proper steering wheel puller, and maybe today we'll actually get this poor old steering wheel off the Jeep. Now I don't have a good handy number of just how many hours or gigabytes of footage I have of me trying and failing repeatedly to pull this wheel off, but here's a quick supercut of a bunch of the fails that didn't end up on the cutting room floor. This is some next level jank. If someone told me this morning that I was going to be engineering a steering wheel puller out of a 2-jaw puller that was too small, a lawnmower blade, a couple of 70s vintage brake shoes, and various washers and a bolt or two and maybe some baling wire, I'd have been a little bit skeptical. If it wasn't comical like 4 days ago, it should be at this point. It would have been nice if I'd just gotten the right tool for it first. So the kit is pretty straightforward. if one does the whole RTFM thing and reads the instructions. It's a very straightforward process. Now, for literally months, every other day, I've been coming out here and I've been taking this nut off and I've been spraying the area down with everyone's favorite PB Blaster for everything rusty. Been trying to give it a few tugs. Of course, that didn't work. Prior to all that, I'd been doing the same thing for even more months before all of my harebrained attempts at fabricating a steering wheel puller that was just many levels of fail. Alright, so step one, of course, is to remove the original nut and replace it with the one provided. Now, I make the assumption that we're not going to screw this all the way down, because if we did, there wouldn't be enough room to pull the actual steering wheel off. And here's why I don't want the old wheel on here, because every time you touch it, your hands turn black because of all this weird dust stuff. Step 2, lower or remove turn signals. I don't have turn signals. Problem solved. Step 3, install lower puller plate assembly around steering column. Cool. Alright, then we slide the top bar over these bolts. It's a lot easier than I'm making it look. The instructions note that this needs to be as parallel as possible because you want even force. My setup here has about 8 threads showing on both sides. It says not to use an impact, so we're not gonna. I was going to, but I couldn't find the socket. Alright, it's turning, I hear creaking, but it's not coming loose. So the instructions do say tapping with a hammer may be needed to initially loosen the wheel. Nope. That last one did it. It's always the last one that does it because you stop after the last one. That feels loose. There we go. So I heard something fall, and I guess that chunk of steering wheel finally gave up just as soon as it was about to come out. But I know where the piece is, and they say you can actually do a restoration on these and clean them up and bring them back. This one's kind of shattered, I don't know about that, but in a future video I may give it a shot. That has a very original look to it. Did I need to wire wheel the spring? No, but it sure felt nice. And now here's a puddle of PB Blaster. And there we have it. One steering wheel removed. For my own sanity, I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. Don't forget to charge your tools. I think we got enough cleaned up there. This should do. Now, I don't recall having read this anywhere or heard this step before, but given that these steering wheels will sit on here for 60 years, God willing, our friend Permatex here, with their anti-seize, seems like it's probably a good idea. Maybe? Even though realistically on this project, I'll be taking this off in not too terribly long for the actual full-blown restoration job. This is just phase 1 where we get it running and driving and enjoying it as an old Jeep, you know? Maybe someday, somewhere, 20, 30 years from now, either me or whoever gets this Jeep after me will appreciate that little step. Cleaned up spring. Steering wheel. Okay. Now it fits. Now we can put the cap and the old Bakelite button back on here. And we'll just carefully torque this down. And that is probably good enough. The steering wheel button is not in there, so the actual button here won't sit just right, but that's good enough for now, I think. Ah, the anti-seize is everywhere. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Alright, this wheel feels a heck of a lot better. I am glad to have that, because every time I would want to sit in this seat just to think about how it's going to be like to drive this, I would have to wear a black shirt because the old wheel would leave a mark, and that stuff does not wash out very easily. So, thanks for watching on this most out of order Jeep project. This has got to be the most inefficient way possible to put one of these back on the road, but thanks for sticking with me. I'm learning a lot along the ways. I've got a lot more to learn on that front axle because I'm still working on the front brakes, and I've run into some issues with those axle shafts. Those are a little bit confusing, and I don't think the guy before me did it right. So keep checking back for updates. See you guys again soon.